Yo guys, welcome back to another Boneyard podcast video. Today we have I can't call him like new. I don't know what to call this fucking guy. He's on here all the time. We love this dude. Legendary. You guys have heard him and talked to him before or listened to him before. Love having this dude on the podcast. If you guys don't know him, I'll let him give you a little introduction of himself. I'm your host, Big Bear Berg. Do the Boneyard podcast. Come check me out on YouTube. Usually stream Foxhole. I'm taking a break during 128. BF6 is fucking sick. So yeah, hey, Legendary, what's up, man? Go ahead and give him your spiel.
Oh, the usual spiel. So, hello, HVL Legendary, the officers in HVL. We collaborate a lot with the Colonial faction, I would say. We're part of Soul. In terms of me personally, a lot of the people in my regiment call me a YouTuber. I don't really subscribe to that, but I guess I say some interesting things and people listen. So, catch me up on YouTube, Legendaries today.
So yeah, dude. This week I just messaged Legendary out of the blue. Said, hey, you want to do a podcast? It's been pretty dry on the Boneyard podcast. I kind of jumped off when I heard the Airborne was going to get delayed, which, by the way, I will talk about that later. I just haven't been playing a lot. There's been a lot of network issues between me and the game. I keep getting kicked. But being that as it is, I still do love Foxhole. It's still my main game. I just need to step away for a minute. But, I'm keeping up to date with it. And, Legendary's been dropping me some info. And I guess the first thing that came to my mind when I wanted to do this podcast was and this is a question for everyone, not just Legendary, but I'm asking him, do you feel like there is a slight not drop in player base, but almost like a void? I guess the best way I can explain it, do you guys feel like there's a void coming to Foxhole where it is at a stage where it's not trending the right way? Do you guys feel that it is maybe plateaued? I guess is a better way of putting it. Do you guys feel like Foxhole's in a plateau? Or do you feel like the game's going in a negative direction? Do you feel like it's in a positive direction right now? I'm curious what you guys think. Legendary, I'm here to pick your brain. What do you think about that question? What do you say?
So, I think right now, there's two trains of thought that people are either subscribing to, and I think we are basically both sides of the coin for each of us. So I'm on the one side and you're the other. So we're the same coin, but I think there's two trains of thought, and maybe you can agree or disagree with me on this. Right now, people who are interested in playing Foxhole either fall in the I'm waiting for Airborne group, or people are we can't expect Airborne at any we can't expect Airborne right now, so why should we hold off for something that might take 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 ever months, how long it'll take for devs to get around to it. And I think people are falling into these two groups purely because of a lack of communication from Siege Gap regarding what the state of everything is, when can we sort of expect something, and there have been a couple times where they have said that yes, more communication is coming, and then it just doesn't happen. And I guess that could be accepted that maybe Airborne is further off than people expect it to be, because there was a big general consensus that we were going to be in airplanes by now, like end of summer. That's when things were going to be. But obviously, the dev said that they wanted to rework a lot of the existing systems to prepare for Foxhole for the airborne update. We are now in that state, and unfortunately, that state has left a lot of balance gaps for the general player base as a whole. And now people are, well, things are not the greatest in terms of push building, push defending. You have given your opinion about wet concrete. I think wet concrete is also in a situation of flux right now, and the only way that those gaps are going to get filled is with the introduction of airborne, because there's probably going to be balance changes that come with it, and there will probably be tweaks to existing systems like the breaching system that was introduced in 2 patches ago and then tweaked a little bit in the maintenance patch, right? So people, like I said, people are now falling into the game is now in a state where everything is ready for air, but until we actually have air, we're stuck in the state of things aren't balanced in terms of how the game should flow. And the result of this is large regiments are either taking turns tryharding, which is what we're doing. We took a break war last war. We're tryharding this war with Sol. So we're back in full force. We're definitely trying to win this war. But after this war, although it hasn't been discussed yet, we might go on break war again, touch on grass, and come back for the next war after, or maybe that will be airborne.
Don't lie to my viewers. You won't touch grass. Don't you fucking lie.
That's well. I mean, we took we definitely took a break war last war. I got to play through a lot against the storm, played a lot of Helldivers before it went to shit. But yeah, now it's kind of back, and we want to get back into playing Foxhole again. The only problem right now is, like I said, I wouldn't say the game's broken. I would just say that there are clear gaps in the meta right now that the devs had put up, like, oh, we put this underground bunker in for a reason. It doesn't really have a big impact now, but it costs rares and we have to make it. Oh, we've completely restructured how bunker bases were being built. We increased high explosive damage for tier 2 structures. Why did they do this? Because obviously they're in preparation for the meta that airplanes are going to be placed in. So that makes the game a little bit frustrating to play, and people either taking turns or people are just like, fuck it, we wait for airborne, which is, in my opinion, both perfectly fine. And I think that's where this void is now come into play. A lot of content creators are just taking a break because they want to play in airplanes. They've been hyped up for airplanes for months now, but we are very much past the intended deadline. And yes, Siege Camp did communicate that they were going to delay it because of the changes because of the changes of the preparation. But at some point, they need to throw us a little bit more bugs. They need to be like, cool, we've revealed the scout plane, they revealed the stuff in the trailers, which is the fighter, and they've revealed the colonial something bomber, dive bomber in the concept art. They need to give us more to sate us, to hype us up, keep the hype train going, or else it's going. We're gonna get into a situation where it's gonna be like Doom Eternal, where they said, "Oh yeah, all this cool pre-rendered trailer stuff, we're gonna have a lot of fun," but at the end of the day, when can we finally get an airplane and bomb
So
stuff and stuff like that?
we agree on this, and actually more than you. I think you were saying we disagree. I actually think we agree more on this than what meets the eye. I think throwing the bone and how we want the devs to go about doing things and what I guess the frustrations come from are a little different, but one and the same. So I 100% agree. Um, and this is where I bring up the void. It feels like we're in a state of no communication. I and I truly mean when I say this, I think Siege Camp is an amazing company. But I think their community communication is it's hurting them and it's also hurting us. I think it's hurting more than helping how the lack of communication is. And I don't think, it's my place to tell them what to do with their company. I play their game. But I do have an opinion, and I think a lot of people share the opinion within the community, especially the tryhards that want it. And when you look at like all the content that has come out in the past year, versus like other games that have come out, like Battlefield 6, they're XYZ. I mean, people play a million different games. The biggest issue I have right now is not only are we disappointed that Airborne's not coming out, a lot of us are happy that they're taking their time with it. But they're also not throwing us a lot of other stuff. Now, I say that, and that sounds very ungrateful considering they just did the building update and they did some tweaks here and there, but that's not like brand new mechanics. That's not brand new stuff. There's not a lot to really sink your teeth in. I mean, and let's be honest, like, who really thought the builder update was really going to turn around and shoot them in the foot? Now it's all 3x1s again, except it's all fucking U's, or whatever you want to call them. It's the 2x3s. That's sorry. A lot of people just run 2x3s, and that's now the new meta instead of 1x3s. And a lot of that, did we think that? A lot of us had some ingenuity in the beginning, but a lot of people don't build like bear traps or fucking, a lot of people have really quit being cool with it. It's very back to as little as we can offline, like meta, and that's not their fault. That's just the way the meta shifts. But what I'm trying to get at is the lack of content is starting to creep up. I feel like a lot. The last new vehicles we got were the 250 push gun, the brand new one with the Fury round, and then the um reutilized Jester. Those are our brand new two vehicles that we've gotten. Now they have tweaked storm cannons. They've tweaked gunboats, but the last new vehicle with a really cool new feature, or even a new vehicle in general, and not just vehicles, but guns we haven't got a new gun since 20 mils have came into the game, the snipers and stuff. I don't think we've gotten a new gun since then, really.
Yeah, no, we haven't. But we've got rework shotgun,
Well, yeah, and
nemesis,
they're reworking a lot of
and
stuff. And
brigand.
then I
Yeah.
was gonna say
Mhm.
Nemesis and Brigand were the last vehicles. But do you remember how long ago those got added into the game?
Yeah, it was December. It was around this time last year.
So we're almost a year in, and there are tweaks which you can announce and say that is new content to play with, and I can agree to that to an extent. But there's only so many different ways to play a storm cannon. Storm cannons, you have to build them different. They can do different stuff now, but it's still a storm cannon at the end of the day. There's only so many different ways to do a gunboat. You add new turn radius, you do a little bit of different on the gun placement, you add some rails, but it's a gunboat at the end of the day. That now I'm not saying they need to evolutionize their game every moment, but at the same time, especially when you gave us a heartbreaking decision to delay Airborne, be that as it may, I am happy that they made that decision and they're doing it right and not rushing it. I do agree the bone needs to be thrown either an intelligence in what we're going to be getting in Airborne and letting us have visual in on what you guys are thinking there and keep us at least, I don't know, entertained. But at the other half, like, I really wish I would see them add other stuff, like, and
Yep.
again, when it comes into balance and stuff like that, I I mean, balance goes round and round and round, and I do think the game um is as balanced as you're ever gonna see it for now. Um until some other stuff gets added. Like, I really do feel like there's not a lot of stuff they can really. Now obviously there is stuff they can tweak with numbers and Y's and stuff like that and make it feel better, but unless they start adding like different gaps and different ways to take on different stuff, I just feel like it's all just a slider and people are going to be mad either way they slide it. You know what I mean? And then it's just infighting, and there's no community manager to hear us out. We're just fighting with each other on a Reddit and getting salty with each other.
Yeah. So I have 2 points to this. And I can hear you're very frustrated about it, but I think there's 2 points about this that could lead to an interesting conversation. I think point number 1 is we have to remember that the devs are doing something new with this major update. They're doing something they've never done before. I'm not even talking about the airplanes. They are rolling out a complete update on day 1, or at least they're going to try to. That's their intent. Because previously, for the major updates being Inferno and Naval, because 1.0 and then post 1.0 update,
Yep,
they did a rollout of content, which honestly made the game unbearable in certain aspects to play in. When Inferno came out, only Wardens had access to range fire, and we had broken ass buckets. We didn't even have fire trucks. And then, like 6 months later, the game sort of got into a point where it was balanced again, and then Naval was announced, and then Naval came out, and then the situation was flipped a little bit for the Wardens, where Wardens didn't have a frigate class. They only had the abysmal, underpowered Naki at the time. And
that's so crazy to say. Naki underpowered, like that sentence.
It
Just
was.
doesn't-
Well, it was.
Oh, 100%
I know
it
it
was.
does.
It's just so
It
weird.
was terrible.
It's so weird to hear
It was
that
terrible.
now.
No, absolutely.
And then,
But
oh yeah, it's so true.
Then it took them, and then 6 months later, they got their frigate, and then devs overbuffed torpedoes for both factions. But obviously, the Naki now suddenly overperformed because, you know, there was a large player base of people who had experience in the Naki, even though it was dog shit at the time. It's good now, but now the large holes wreck naval gameplay completely, as both sides are starting to see now. And it makes for a bad gameplay loop because the balance pendulum, which if people don't know what the balance pendulum is kind of like an in joke within the Foxhole community.
That's old vets right
the
there.
devs literally have the devs have a pendulum that swings for which faction, like literally right here, that has a pendulum that swings for whichever the balance favors a particular faction.
You need to get a little sash. You need to get
I
a little
do,
sash on which
I
side
do.
has the pendulum.
Yeah, exactly,
awesome.
dude. Yeah. Anyway, so when Inferno came out, it was very much Warden favorite because fire was insanely OP. Like fire rocket, like one or two Skycallers could burn down an entire hex in like a couple of minutes. It was insane. And then obviously the pendulum then swung because then the devs were like, okay, give the collies some fire, add in more firefighting tools, and then we got the Spatha buff, we got the body engine buff, we got a lot of other buffs as well. And then for a while, collie armor was insane, and Wardens couldn't keep up. Then the pendulum swung the other way again because then that Wardens got better naval equipment. Outlaw got buffed, things got and that's the back and forth that I keep talking about. We have this pendulum spinning right now, and as annoying as that is, the devs have committed that they don't want the pendulum swings to be that strong anymore. That's kind of what they're trying to do with Airborne. So that means the only possible solution that makes that they can have is one. It goes one of two ways. One, they release a patch with everything in it that we need to play with, and obviously there will be balance tweaks, and someone will find out an exploit, and that'll get bug fixed, and blah blah blah. That's fine, but at least we have everything on day 0 of release to play with. Like collies have a bomber, Wardens have a bomber. Collies have a fighter, Wardens have a fighter. Collies have a dive bomber, Wardens have a dive bomber, etc. Like that's how it has to come out. Or they go back on their word, and then they only roll out content to very, very, very mid expectations. So, for example, what they could do is they could say, okay, well, we're going to release Airborne, but we see you guys are really hungry to play. So what we're going to do is we're just going to release however the airplanes are going to be made. We're gonna the facility stuff, the building tarmac stuff. I don't know how that would work, and we'll release scouts in December, and January we'll release an update patch that will introduce fighters, and then February we'll introduce an update patch that will release bombers, and those would all be short wars. So you play until thing and then you restart, and that might burn people out as well. So as sucky as it is right now, in my opinion, the best bet is we just have to be patient. The try hard regiments will play in rotation as they are now. The coalitions will play in rotation as they are now. Touch some grass, but also keep in mind that the devs also need a break, and I know that they are very hands off during December. So I will say that if we don't get any sort of rollout plan in the next, I would say in the extreme, the next 2 weeks, then we could probably expect airborne in the new year. I don't think we're gonna get it, because if they release airborne, which they will have to release with a dev stream, the dev stream usually comes with the dev branch. If we don't have sufficient time to test things in the dev branch, we are going to get a miserable release because things won't be
Holy
tested.
hellfire.
And also keep in mind that they're intending to release a lot of content. And if they release a lot of content needs a lot of testing. So if we don't have enough time to test all these things, then we're basically just going to run into the middle of December. And I highly doubt Siege Camp would make the mistake of releasing content mid-December, because new war, new toys, major update, they have to have support teams ready, and like not just like the live service support teams, like the dudes who do like the tickets or the moderation stuff. It also has to be someone on the dev team behind a computer screen ready to fix bugs, because we found a way to glitch a bomber underneath the ground and we can bomb stuff going upwards. Weird shit that could come from that, and we
Gravity
don't
now
want to
goes
run into that
upwards.
situation. Yeah, exactly. Bombs go upwards. So that's my opinion.
Yeah,
What would you
so
prefer? Would you rather prefer everything dropped when it's ready, or do like a rollout plan, but then
so
we might have to run into more short wars?
again, it's not necessarily I'm frustrated that they are taking their time with this. I want them to release. Like personally, I did not like the way they did Naval, because it gave so many shortcomings, and then they have to over tweak and overdo, and it's. I don't want them to drop a half-ass update, especially one with this much publicity behind it. Like, a lot of people always say, like, this is the make or break. If they don't fix this, then they're fucked. Those people
No.
are doomers, bro.
Yeah, those are
This
dreamers.
this is not a make or break, but this is a stay or elevate moment. This is not a do or die. This is a do, or they excel so much they're going to get 10,000 players congruent. You know what I mean? This can be a very attractive source um for the game. I really do think this would be a
Yeah.
very
If
attractive, very come check this out. We just got airplanes. Come, da 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 da. There's a lot of publicity already in it. We already have people. Everyone knows that. Oh, what's his name? Summit 1G's. He's playing in
yeah,
the
yeah, I was gonna
background.
say yeah.
When he
Mm-hmm.
fucking drops an airborne, that's 9,000 people minimum getting publicity on airborne. Chamberlain's getting 100 viewers every time. A lot of people are starting to get a really bit. Chamberlain's also getting a lot of the frontline page or front page on Twitch. He's gotten that like 3 times, where he's had like 3,000 people in his chat. Not only that, but I'm sure they're already in talks with other streamers that saying, "Hey, when we have this airborne update, we'd like you to come, XYZ." I want them to drop a very good content update, but the other half of me, we don't even know when the hell that is. We also need to not be fucking bored for the next X amount of months. I a
Yeah.
lot of people are saying New Year's and all this. I don't see that. I don't see how they're going to be dropping, like, even if in the next 2 weeks, right? Like, I don't even see us being able to have time to really do testing, because this isn't going to be like a two-day testing, like, or a week
No,
testing. Like,
6 weeks.
this is going to be like
6 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks
Mm-hmm.
minimum. Cookie, I asked you if you wanted to join, buddy. There's Cookie in the chat. Finally came back. Little
Yeah, I
punk.
saw him. I saw him.
Little
Hi.
punk. What's up, buddy? Anyway, so yeah, like I don't see them. You're all good. I don't see that coming anytime soon. And with that, like, here's the other elephant in the room. I can't even play the game sometimes for over a half hour without getting kicked. Now, is that a my PC problem? Maybe.
That's a 100% your PC problem. 100%. Unless. Oh, wait. Did you play? Okay. Foxhole aside, did you try and play any games this week and it just being shit in general? Did you try and play Foxhole this week, basically?
No.
I just want to ask. Okay. There's been massive cloud problems this last week. It was a real pain in the neck for my company that I work for because cloud services were screwed this week because of AWS problems. So I don't know if that affects you because I think you might be near one of the data centers or something.
Maybe.
I think it. Sorry to say this might be a you problem, but I mean Foxhole's still Foxhole. We still get a little bit of DCs here and there. There was a couple of server resets this week that were out of the normal maintenance, because there's always maintenance on like a Monday and a Friday. We had a maintenance window on Tuesday. There was like a minor patch that didn't change anything. So no, devs are still cleaning things up. I honestly think this might be a problem, if I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, it definitely might be, but the other thing is, like, when it kept happening, I wouldn't lose any connection on my Twitch stream. Like, and it was like sometimes every 15 minutes, sometimes I could go all day without getting kicked. And it wasn't like when I was doing one specific thing. This was like at very random. My stream would stay at 100%. Like, I would look at my kbps per second. I'd stay in the 6,000 range. Like, I was never dropping on anything like that, and I just kept getting kicked over and over. And it's like, it got to the point where I got so mad I hopped. That's why I hopped off last war. Like, I literally had enough. I had gotten kicked out of my tank so many times. I kept losing filters, binos. Like, it was really annoying. And I just had enough. And then going on along that, it's not just me. Like, a buddy trooper in my regiment kept having connection issues. And I know that was one big gripe from Trounsey. The desync and the lag for him is just fucking insane. He said it. I don't know the last time I talked to him about it. I think he was saying it got better, but I remember when he took that long break, he said that it was like unbearable to play on the front line. And I just, yeah. Okay. So it might be a regional thing. It might just be our PCs, like what we have in them. There's always that, if it doesn't, like AMD or something like that. I don't know. I know that was frustrating me. They obviously always are working on the connection stuff and, doing all that. But I know that's not just a me gripe. I know a lot of people are getting frustrated with how much the server lags sometimes when a lot of shit's going on. So
have you opened a support ticket?
I haven't. No.
I highly suggest you do. That specifically when it comes to connectivity and problems like that, you guys need to report this stuff. And I know it's annoying. You have to fill in a form, but it might help out. But yeah, I mean, for this war, I haven't heard of the only problem that I know of this war in terms of technical connectivity is we had a couple of HPL guys who did a Warden Vacation War last war, and when they tried to log in for War Start this war to switch back to Collie, their accounts got locked, and then they had to open a support ticket, and then they had to wait 3 days before they could play, which sucks. Now I don't know if that contributed to that, but that's legitimately the only concern that I've heard. We just came out of a Soul meeting in terms of like what the gameplay has been like for like the last week or two. No one really mentioned that they were having technical problems across both US based regiments as well. So maybe it's better, but I will say that as much as I love to harp on siege camps at fault for everything wrong in Foxhole, sometimes they just aren't. Steam is hosted on AWS. Vivox, which is the audio. the audio stuff that we use for in-game communication. Those ports are hosted on AWS. So sometimes it's Siege Camp's fault, but this might legitimately be just a problem with service delivery being in general. And we saw a massive AWS blackout on US East 1 on Friday. And the only reason why I knew that is half of our students panicked because all their like workbooks were hosted on AWS. So Lamau. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
But I get that. I get
aside,
that.
yeah.
It can be frustrating.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating. I personally haven't run into any problems, but I can correlate this to the absolute abysmal state that Helldivers 2 is in. Like I've stopped playing Helldivers 2 because it's technically it's just it bricks your computer, it freezes, it crashes. You look at a gun skin, the game crashes, it sucks, it feels bad having to constantly reboot the thing. So I can get that with Foxhole that you're in a tank, you're fighting, all of a sudden black screen, and you lose all your filters. You lose your position in queue. That's the big one. You're frontline guy. You lose your position in queue.
You know what irritates the shit out of me is
Yeah.
not having fucking binoculars. Devs, I don't. You know what? Hey, matter of fact,
let's creep. Breathe. Let's creep.
Bro, I fucking lose my mind every time I lose my pair of binos. I need like, you know what? I'm gonna make a ticket in HVL for like 100 fucking crates. Yeah, 300 crates of binos.
Bro, I will. Okay. I took a break for last war. Okay, we're gonna go back to Foxhole. Okay, I took a break last war. This war, I am doing something new with Logi. You're gonna love it. You need to at some point log on Collie for like 5 minutes this war. I'll show you what Legendary's been cooking. We have a new way. We have a new way to do Logi, and we've been experimenting. It's by usual ragtag guys that you see in my YouTube shorts. We're building something. We built something cool.
Nice.
So if you want like 300 crates of binos, we can get it to you in like 15 minutes.
Do you see what Cookie said? I am an addict for binos, guys. It's not a fucking secret. I am an addict. 90% of my game plays through binos, like over 90%. So yeah, that's my favorite piece of gear. But going back to the podcast and like the state of the game, you know, I kind of said my spiel. I think the extent, I feel like the extent we want the devs to do may differ, but I feel like we both want the same thing. We want communication from Siege Camp at bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
We need them, big bare minimum, bone bare minimum, boneyard minimum. You know what I mean? We need them to talk to us. It's just to the point where we're kind of like, not hopeless, but it just almost feels like we're lost right now, bro. Like it just sucks. And I think another thing that I want to bring up this, and this isn't a one-sided thing, but I really like, I don't know how to incentivize this without like being fucking nerdy, but like, dude, playing the game clean. Like, I know you guys want to win and everyone wants to win, but when you told me about that shit with the rares and stuff, and thank God it got patched, like, dude, that shit though, like, it'll never happen. But if we could start like an awareness or like, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say this is out of context. We need to start a bullying campaign for people that exploit. We need to bully the shit out of those people. But don't do that. I don't advise that. I'm not saying that. But
I think we need to give your audience context. You're talking about a private conversation we had.
Well,
we have to tell
and
people.
I wanted to make sure you're okay with me telling them that.
I think let me explain it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so between War 127 and 128, the devs released a patch at the start of 128. And in the patch notes, there was a very inconspicuous change. And the exact wording was something along the lines of, you can no longer carry a downed player and cross a border while you're in a vehicle. This sounds incredibly weird, and obviously a lot of people thought that, oh, this is like a nerf to like large ships. So you can't like, so if a large ship is in combat and is trying to cross a border or something like that, and they attempt to board, they attempt to cross, but there's down players on the bottom of the ship or something like that. This would prevent the ship from crossing. That's what people thought. However, after that patch dropped and the war started, I was contacted by a couple of Warden Regiment leaders. Now, this normally doesn't happen. Normally, regiment leaders don't reach out to each other unless there is a very specific problem that took place. So, I was reached out by a Warden Naval Regiment leader. I won't say which regiment leader because I don't want to start a witch hunt. I don't want people to start freaking out. But I was reached out to them, and they asked the following question to me: like, "Hi, Legendary. We would like to know if HVL was receiving rare donations from random players on the Kali side." And I thought this was a very, very weird thing. And I said, truthfully, I replied saying, we sometimes get donations, but that's usually from people who scrape like a field, and then they'll give us the donation of rare mats that they collected because they don't want it, or they want to like fund a nuke, or they want to like pay for something. And this is usually not more than, in terms of donations, this is usually not more than 100 RMATs. Oh, no, sorry, RMATs, rare alloys. Alloys, fuck, word. Rare metals, sorry, rare metals. The thing that drops from salvage, okay? So we have never received a donation more than like 100, maybe 200 at most. And that's what I told this Warden Regiment guy, regiment leader guy, and he was like, okay, cool. That was good to hear, because then he pointed out, because this patch notes dropped, and we have discovered that people on, when I say people, I'm going to be very specific, individuals on the Warden faction have been using this thing that is now fixed to duplicate materials. That's what he said. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, how bad was it? And apparently, it was really bad, because there was essentially 2 or 3 guys on the Warden side who have been duping rare metals and donating them to random coalitions, random regiments, or just putting them in stockpiles so that people come and collect them, and then obviously inflating the Warden rare economy to the point that they just have an influx of rare alloys. So what ended up happening was, this Warden Naval Regiment found out because someone accidentally, one of the exploiters accidentally leaked the information on a public Discord. And they were able to, on this public Warden Discord, they were able to piece together what they did. They were able to replicate the bug, and then it was immediately reported and fixed. So this now means that for some duration of time, the Wardens have been duping materials. I have personally seen the footage that was sent to me by this Naval Regiment guy. This is the only source of information that I've seen. They basically showed me the footage that they used to report these players to get them banned and to get the bug fixed. And I could personally vouch that I've seen the footage, and yes, it is true. They were able to duplicate it. I'm not going to repeat how it's done, but I can guarantee you it is something that almost anyone can do. It doesn't require a third-party application. You can, the trick literally has to do with something that was fixed in the patch, but I'm not going to go into specific details. Now, the problem is this is not apparently this is not a recent bug. This is not a recent exploit. Apparently, this has been going on for the longest time, and the only upside to this is isolated to an incredibly small amount of players. And we can attest to this because if it had been known publicly by a lot more players, it would probably have been reported almost immediately. The problem is, item duping is a big fucking problem, because you can artificially inflate the economy of any other player by in inconspicuous means. There's no way to track it. When you dupe an item, there's no way that you can track whether or not something is duped or not. So unfortunately, and this comes back to the original thing, this is why this large Warden Naval Regiment guy messaged me and explained what was going on, because he was like, we have been receiving donations from these players. We didn't know it was duped metals, duped metals, which they use to make duped alloys to then go and make their ships. They completely distanced themselves from these players. And unfortunately, now we're in a situation of, well, how many wars were the Wardens doing this? How many wars were they duping things? And were they just limited to metals? And we suspect, based on tech progression this war, we suspect that the Wardens have also been duping tech materials. Which means if there was ever a tech race in the last like 20 or 30 wars where the Wardens were just outright fucking winning, it's not just because of pop imbalance. Probably is. But it could also be a case of like, wow, Wardens got 300 bill. For example, in like War 108 or 1112, Wardens got, I can't remember exactly which one. It was one of those two. Wardens literally got storm cannons for like a solid like 11 hours before us. That is insane. That is insane. 11 hour for a late game tech. Like, how lucky must you be to get that much of aluminium? But now that we know that they've been duping stuff, we have to raise into question, like, they seriously just out-pop us? Or were Tweedledee and Tweedledum doing this exploit in the backline, just constantly dumping rare alloys in a refinery and then logging off?
Well,
We don't know. And that's the danger of it.
Here's the thing that I don't want to paint a picture of is this is one exact exploit.
Don't get too mad. Don't yell.
No,
Don't yell.
I'm not. I'm actually advocating for Wardens here, to be honest, and saying that exploiting is not a one-sided affair, boys and girls. Like, I hate to tell you, Collie brothers, but there are shitheads on our team too. There are exploiters on our side too, and I don't mean to bring up shit on exploiters lightly. Like, I genuinely like a good competition, lose, win, or draw. If it's a good fight, like, that's the good part. But when there's cheating involved, it fucking tarnishes the taste. It tarnishes the competition. It tarnishes everything about the game. And I don't know how to get the community behind me in this or behind us in this. Fuck exploiting, dude. Like, fuck exploiting. Fuck cheating. Like, obviously everyone kind of feels like this, but like, genuinely, I want to try to get a way for the community to be like an anti-cheater community, bro. Like, make that kind of Foxholes thing, dude, that we have a really fucking solid. I mean, we already have a good community, but really make that kind of our thing. Like, if you see someone doing something not right, like, fucking get at them, dude. And to an extent, I'm not telling you to get banned or kicked or do any hate speech or anything like that, but fuck, man. Like, we're all in this game to have fun and have a good competition. Like, winning and losing is not the fucking game, dude. That's not what makes the game fun. I really wanted to bring up this because that fucking really, like, when he talks about this could have been going on for wars on wars on wars, like,
It makes you doubt. It makes you doubt now.
And now you're like, well, did you really fucking win? And that's just like that soiled everything. That soils everything, man. And it just
Yeah, look, I just want to add to this. As shitty as it is losing, because colleagues have had a bit of a bad streak for not being able to win wars now, mostly because of naval balance. Whatever, cope. You can say whatever you guys can clip me out of context as much as you want.
Naval balance. We have Navy.
Yeah. Anyway, don't worry about it. Anyway, but as much as it's shitty as to lose computer game, I honestly, legitimately, from speaking from my, putting my heart on my sleeve here and saying, I think I would hate it more if I knew I won because I had some dipshit duplicating rare metals and feeding regiments with it. Like, legitimately. So, if you're a Warden guy and you're upset about this, I want to sympathize with you as opposed to be like, oh well, you guys just cheated to win. I don't want to take that approach because that's toxic and it's stupid.
Well,
That
and
doesn't get us anywhere.
it's not
I,
their
I
fault
don't want
either.
that.
You
But
know, they
yeah,
tried.
it's no one's fault. It's two dipshits on the one side who was inconspicuously feeding duplicated materials to people who didn't know better, because it's not uncommon for some people to have a truckload of rare metals. It's just inconspicuous when it's like two dudes who have a gathering supply thing of like 100 things. You know, like I've only scooped 100 salvage. How the hell do you have a truckload of rare metals? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But there are ways for them to sneak around that. You know, they submit it to a refinery, no one will know. They submit it to a bunker base, no one will know. You know, but I agree with
Yeah.
the fact that we as a player base need to ostracize the people that are doing this, and we need to report them, and we need to let the devs know. Now we have support systems to do that, but maybe that's not in there's not enough engagement in that way, and we would have to open the doors to Siege Camp and say, like, maybe they need to take a harder stance on certain things, and they need to be more transparent and demonstrate when things are not right. Now, unfortunately, Siege Camp has historically never taken a stance on this. They won't say that, oh yes, that night hacking is a thing, and here's how you identify it. The only thing that they can do without getting an insane amount of influx of accusation is to basically use the report system and the ticket system. So it's kind of like we have to encourage snitching. It's like that's the point I'm trying to make. We have to encourage for people to snitch. If you see someone obviously doing some shady things and it doesn't add up, then take a look, get it recorded, put the recording on a ticket, and send that ticket into to Siege Camp so that they can investigate. And this is the point I was trying to make is, yeah, it feels it's sucky for colonials when they lose, when the economy was inflated against them. Like the Warden War economy was too powerful because it had all this influx of duplicate materials. But legitimately, for me personally, I would be so livid if I found out that the only reason why we won, for example, War 1.0 or War
126.
112, or yeah, or any of those, because some fucking nerd was constantly just bumping up stockpiles with duplicated RMATs or duplicated this or duplicated mat. It would be so terrible. And I would honestly consider it a form of like intentional griefing. Like, if you're winning and you're winning by duplicating and feeding people to make them win by funneling them, I would personally, like, if I'm winning because you're cheating on my behalf, I would be so pissed off. So yeah, I don't
And
know what to say. It's just
it's
in this
it
situation
is what
now.
it is, and the reason I brought it up in the podcast, like I know that I'm not the biggest YouTuber or streamer in Foxhole, but it's got to start somewhere, and you know I just think that if you see something, say something, right? If you see something, report it. If
Snitch
you
it.
you
Become a
know,
snitch. Like, it
and
only yeah, it only benefits the longevity of the game. If you want Foxhole to still be a thing in like 1 or 2 years' time, we have to encourage people to report. Like, because today it's item duping, tomorrow it's like teleportation glitch, or it's tank invulnerability glitch, or it's flying large ship glitch, which is a really funny bug that's happening now. But maybe someone can exploit to, you know, toss a
wait,
battleship on top of Blemish and then
are
break the
collies or
town.
wardens
Yeah, exactly.
getting ships into the sky?
Yeah,
What? No, who is it? Collies or wardens getting ships into the sky?
both, both.
Fuck.
It's there's this really funny bug where you like where you put where you ram a destroyer into an iron ship, and then you deploy the iron ship and your ship just goes starts flying, like spinning in the air and
Damn
crashing on
it.
the ground.
Who who will get to the air first? We're really
Yeah,
eager
no.
to get up there, boys. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to call it the Snitches Alliance, but fuck, I mean, whatever floats the boat of the group to get people to snitch on shitheads, I'm cool with it, man. I the thing is, as much as I've critiqued the devs on not communicating and how I want more content in the game and stuff like that, the thing is, I fucking love the game. And what little following I do have is from this game. My most played game is Foxhole. I care about it. more than probably a human should. You know what I mean? It's my pastime. I enjoy the fucking game a lot, and I want to see it succeed. I just think it's very easy for me to say all this stuff, but the thing is, we really, everyone in here and everyone that watches this, you guys are the people that are going to make a big difference, because next time you see someone doing something shitty, don't let it slide by. You've been notified. Like, if you watch this video to this extent, or you're in this Twitch right now, like, we want you guys to report. Like he even said, I'm gonna go fill out a report about my network issue to the devs after this. They can't fix shit if they don't know it's there. You know, they search, they're trying to build us a better game. We can fucking help them out. You know what I mean? We can try to get them the best intel we can, and that makes our game cleaner. That makes our experience better. You know, I want Foxhole to be. I think I can say this for him too. I think we want Foxhole to be a better game. I think we want to be playing this game in 5 years when, you know, we get to modern Foxhole and I get an M1 Set V2 Abrams. You know,
aircraft carrier,
yeah,
bomber airships, UFOs. We want all that shit in, you know. But
we're already
we
getting
can't get
canoes.
we can't get there when we can't get there if one side is constantly, you know, last couple of wars now it's probably was wardens. We don't want the same thing happen, and like colleagues discover a bug and we hold it dear and we don't tell anyone, and then we start doing the same thing and we do pink stuff, and then wardens get shit on and the game balance is completely swayed to their side due to artificial inflament. We don't want that. No one wants that because it kills the game. And we colleagues have been on the receiving end to that imbalance now, and it feels really bad. We don't want that anymore. And what, you know, if we want more people to like come on board and play the game with us, like Summon 1G and his goons, maybe Pirates After wants to play the game, or maybe Asmund Gold's gonna play the game. We can't nurture a culture of whoever has the best exploits wins. That never ends well, because ultimately the only thing that's going to end up happening is the only people that really prosper and have enjoy the game is going to be cheaters, and then it's going to be cheater versus cheater gameplay, as opposed to whoever had the better logistical backline, whoever had the better fighters, whoever had the most skill expression. So yeah,
Persistence.
and I will extend an olive branch here. If you are part of these discords, if you know that people are doing this and you are inadvertently involved in this, I will say this much: just stop it and do leave now. Like you don't need to come forward and say, yes, I was part of the duping circle and I'm very, you know, we did it and we'll do it again and blah blah blah. Just stop it. You don't even need to admit to it. We have the names of the serious guys and they've been reported, so those guys are gone. But don't try and follow in their footsteps. And for the love of God, I'm speaking to a very specific Discord out there, and I'm not going to mention names, but you guys know who you are. For the love of God, please, when you play on Dev Branch, please report the fucking bugs, as opposed to, hey guys, please don't play in large groups on the Dev Branch because the devs are watching and they're going to watch what you do and patch things out. And please, whatever you do, don't open a support ticket. Seriously, don't be those guys. Be better. Like, we can live. I'm fairly sure I'm not going to speak for the entire colonial faction. There'll probably be some salty vets out there, but I think the majority of the colonial player base could say, okay, cool. It sucks that wardens were duping some resources, or very select number of wardens were duping stuff and inflating the economy. But let's fucking move forward and focus on enjoying the game. And the only way that we can enjoy the game is to play fairly, report bugs, report glitches, and stop harboring people who want to play against just playing the game correctly as it's meant to be played, which is, you know, glitch and abuse free. So please don't be involved in discords who say hide intelligence. I know there's one Discord out there doing it, and I'm talking directly to you guys. Don't listen to those idiots. Don't listen to the people who is harboring glitches and bugs and stuff like that, because it's bad for the game.
Well, and also you can
So
get your
yeah,
account banned if you know
I
not
don't, I don't even
withholding
care about it.
well, not
I don't get.
withholding information, but if you're a part of these groups that are fucking, holding back exploits or exploiting consistently and trying to keep it in a small circle, like eventually it's gonna slip, and unless you want to pay $30 more for a different, well, let's be honest, you can probably pay a
And
fucking cheapo account, but
I'll tell you this
even
much:
that,
the leaders, and I'll tell you this much: the leaders of those regiments, I know those players. They will throw you under the fucking bus. If they get caught for cheating or doing anything like that, if they get caught for cheating or they get reported or their accounts get suspended, you know what they'll do is they'll go to the support ticket and say, "Oh, you know what? No, it was Joe Schmo 22. He was the arbitrator of this. Here, I have screenshots of all the Discord DMs. They'll submit that as support tickets. They'll throw you under the bus, and then they'll kick you from that Discord, and you won't have access anymore. So don't do it. Don't get involved. Like, what's the point? What's the point of knowing how to dupe rares? What's the point of being able to ping tridents using the callouts to see exactly where they are on the map? Please, what's the point, guys? Don't do it. Like, yeah, I know about that bug. Yeah, I know. I know you guys have been spotting tridents using the callout system. Yeah, I know. I have video footage of it.
and
Unfortunately for you guys, I report it.
it's again, I think this isn't like a fucking beat down video, but at the same time, like, I do want to let people know, like, I am gonna be trying to get a fucking community together to start reporting motherfuckers who's doing this shit. Like, I don't know how we're gonna do it. I mean, but if we're catching your ass red-handed, like, trust me, I will send this straight to the devs, and I'm gonna send it straight to the boys to report your ass in whole, because we gotta fucking, if we want a good game, bro, we gotta have a clean game, and to have that, fuck your feelings, fuck your exploits, fuck you wanting to have your little bullshit win, fuck you. You're getting reported. You're getting out of the game, so we can have a good ass game, and I can beat some Warden ass, and they might be able to
Yeah.
sneak one in, but
And by the way, this is a faction neutral statement.
Oh, 100%. If you're a collie and you're doing this
if you're a
shit,
collie, you're much worse. I'm gonna report you harder than the warden.
yeah,
Just,
I'm gonna
you know,
find out
if-
more. I'm gonna get everyone
Yeah.
in the region. I'm gonna be saying in world chat, fuck this dude, report him, everybody. It's on site if you're a collie.
Yeah, it's much worse for collies. Don't exploit colonial. But yeah,
But-
clean. What's that stupid statement? Drain the swamp. Clean it
Yeah,
out. Something.
clean the
I
swamp.
don't know the. I don't know the statement at all. It's something I picked up. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
yeah.
Other than that, dude, like, here's the other thing is I've been away playing, my break war, playing not Black Ops. I've been playing Battlefield 6. I've been enjoying my time, but to be honest, like, I just messaged in regiment chat the other day, a lot of us are hungry to come back, and it's one of those games that I can't stay away from for too long, I mean, I get really excited about this game. I get really mad about this game, but for fuck's sakes, I can't stay away. And I'm so excited to see what Airborne's gonna bring. But another thing I would really like to see, before that, just kind of ending note to talk about what we were talking about originally. I really would like to see some gaps filled. Like, honestly,
Okay.
I would like to see some things. A weird one that I don't really get is and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like, why this might hurt some feelings, and it's gonna let some people get mad. Why is the Booker still in this place it's sitting at? And I don't get me wrong, I like that gun being strong, but why is there like no equivalent right now other than the Fashina, which the Fashina's great, but it's not the Booker. And a lot of people are gonna be like, well, it's 7.92, it's 7.6. Yeah, that's kind of my fucking point. The Booker is a better Fashina. You can argue with me on it, cheaper or whatever. Da 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 da. It does more. It has better killing potential. Point being, like, why is there two Warden assault rifles, one Collie one? Why do the Collies have an LMG? Why do the Wardens have an, like? I'm not saying I want evenness across the whole board. I don't want I want the Collie LMG and the Warden LMG to be different, but I want both sides to have the same opportunity to make a play. You know what I mean? I don't what am I guess I'm saying here? I don't want I want asymmetric, but I want equal playing opportunities for both sides. And it doesn't have to be exactly equal number for number, but I don't like when there are a bigger number of things opposed to the other, if that makes sense. Like let's say that there was 100 collie guns and there was only 90 warden guns. That's not necessarily an issue if the warden guns have a lot of niches that fill a lot of roles, but I want that opportunity to be fair. I want every opportunity on both sides. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, I think the perfect balance that you're talking about here is the gas versus the Malone.
yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. They're two very different guns. People have preferences on both. But you have an opportunity to play with an MG on either side. You know what I mean? The base rifles. I'm cool with that. There's a base rifle. They have longer range. They, hit what I don't know the big difference. I think the Argenti's better, but that's because I'm biased because I'm a collie. But a lot of people would say Loudcaster's better. But yeah, I think you're one of those people. You were smirking there. You like a Loudcaster, boy?
No. I actually think you have a good point. I actually think that the base rifles is probably the best form of asymmetry that we have. Asymmetry that we have in the game, because the Loudcaster claps the Argenti during the day, and then the Argenti claps it better in trenches at nighttime.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It's a good design. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what I want throughout every aspect, of the game is different plus and minuses in different areas, right? And a lot of people say that, we're down in SMG. I don't think so anymore. I think our little fucking pitch gun claps, bro.
Pitch gun is almost fiddler level. The only problem is you run out of ammo too fast.
I wouldn't go there, but
bro, no.
In close range, it can clap. No, I've been playing. I played with it when it was.
Play, dude.
I've been playing. Well, I played with it 2 wars ago. It was really good then. I like the pitch gun now.
Dude, I run pitch gun Odyssey every single day now. Now look, I'm just a humble facility train logi operator nerd. I'm not frontline fight every single day type of guy, but I've consistently been using the pitch gun. The only problem with the pitch gun is if I'm doing partisan shit with it, I can only load it and take a spare clip because I'm usually running ignis or stickies with it. So it would be nice if I could have some extra ammo. So if they add, honestly, legitimately, I've been really thinking about the pitch gun. They don't need to change anything. Add 5 bullets to a standard magazine. Pitch gun is fiddler level. Seriously.
I don't know if it's because here's the thing. You're talking about no, you're talking about one of the best guns in the game, like full out.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
I don't think the pitch gun's there for one simple reason. Range will always be king in this game. Without a doubt, range is king, and that thing has just a little bit shorter than rifle range. That thing is a fucking melt, dude. It's far range for what it is. And to be honest, I think
it's a good weapon. It's a good weapon, yeah.
I think I do think the pitch gun has its place in the game now. And honestly, I don't think you have a lot better choices other than that double barrel, that sweet succulent double barrel. Oh,
that's for secondary, yeah.
For secondary, I really do think it is the best secondary in the game. Outside of the double barrel, but that's also because I'm a tank commander, and if you want to kill a sticky rusher, there's no better option. But other than that, I think it's a great gun. But be that as it may, like I just don't like. And honestly, here's another thing: I want the Wardens to get a light machine gun, and I know that doesn't make a lot of people happy. Like Qatar is supposed to be our thing, and da 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 da. Yeah, well, the ATR was also supposed to be a Warden specific thing, and now we have variations of ATR stuff, and I don't want the whole we have one thing specific and you can't fucking touch that item. There are certain things where that's okay. Like put it for example, I think the Bane being the only rocket to be able to go 40 meters is fine. I think what? What?
45.
It's not 45 range. It's 40.
Called the Bane 45 for a reason.
Dude, I thought it was 40. I don't use Banes a lot. I'm too impatient for those fucking things.
To be fair, I don't use Banes either.
I was gonna say I'm a Venom or fucking Igni. I can't be that patient. They are good though, but I thought they were 40 range.
Bro, did you try the new Igni at least when you played last month?
Oh yeah, it was really good. It was really
Fuck
good.
me. I ran a Partisan up 2 days ago. Oh, so good.
I don't touch a I watched that YouTube clip where you fucking clapped all the little outlaws and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't run an infantry kit without it anymore. Like if I run an Argenti, just one. Yeah. Just one. If you get a track on something in a good spot, you just fuck that tank's day. And I'm all about it.
Oh yeah, Logi truck in one hit. Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a good fucking panic button too. If there's a fucking gun in a trench and you gotta fuck,
dude,
you know, hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna be analogous here. It is the Collie ultimatum.
I agree with that.
It's the Collie ultimatum. When you play Helldivers and you run ultimatum, it's like, ah, shit, there's something just showed up. Fucking Bile Titan showed up, or in this case, it's rockets. Like, ah, shit, fucking light tanks just rolled past me. Just tap it. It gets tracked. It gets engined. It gets turreted. I like it.
I definitely think it's where it should be now. And the thing is, they didn't change the one thing that I hated about it. They didn't change the one thing that I hate about it. They made it what it should be, is a single shot fucking destructive unit. And I hated that it didn't auto equip. Now that it has a better track chance and stuff, being one shot is okay. That one shot actually might mean you have a better chance for it to mean something now. And man, I really do think it's a solid piece now.
So I would just like to talk about the Booker. So first of all, I'm gonna start calling you Life Sword 4. We have a dude called Life Sword 3. We have a dude called Life Sword 3 at our regiment. He loves to talk about the Booker in the way that you described it, as in he fucking hates it.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's really good. I don't hate it. I think
it's a good weapon.
Really good.
It's a good weapon. And but he's our Booker OP guy. Anyway, the point is Life Sword 4 is that I actually think that the Booker is, you know how you get power creep where something is underpowered because there are other things around it that get too strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a term for this, but I really feel like the Booker is the opposite of that, where it has been continuously underpowered, and the devs kept buffing it and kept buffing it and kept buffing it, and then all of a sudden some underlying system changed, and now all of a sudden those buffs get catapulted into like stardom. And right now I feel like the Booker is in a really strong place, but I do think that there are some aspects that could be dialed back a little bit that I don't think would be too unreasonable. The big one for me personally with the Booker is at some point, I can't remember exactly which war, I think it was in Inferno, that's even back then, they doubled the clip size of the Booker. Because
from 18 to 36.
Yeah, from 18 to 36. And I feel like because right now the Booker is pretty much a one-tap weapon. Like, if you're within medium to close range of a dude with a Booker and he's crouching, you are dead. You're dead. You're fucked. Because he's gonna do a 3-round burst and you're down. Or you're dead. So I feel like because of that, I think they can undo that buff. And I think the Booker would be fine. They could probably increase the weight a little bit to make it as heavy as a Dusk, but I feel like the shouldering of the Booker kind of puts it in a good spot. And I also think this is kind of why I feel like the pitch gun is in a good. No. The pitch gun's in a good spot because if you're specifically running a knight and you bump into a dude with a Booker, you'll win because you'll shoulder your pitch gun and you'll enter the entire clip before he has a chance to zone in, especially if you keep moving.
Yeah,
and then the Fashina is good. Like, it's my favorite rifle. I used to be an Argenti. I used to be an Argenti only player. Argenti bayonet. And then I run into a trench, stab everyone, and shoot them. but I legitimately think that the Fashina is really good. And the only thing that the Wardens have besides an Armat cost equivalent is actually still the Blekro. So I actually feel like the Fashina's counterpart right now is the Blekro. And it falls into a good spot. Now, in terms of weapon coverage, I don't think the Wardens need an LMG. Honestly, I kind of like the fact that they have 2 Storm rifles. Maybe the Alto could see some changes to it. But I will say that the Collies need a better long rifle because, bro, the Omen and the Volta. Maybe it's just
Hey,
me and
you
I suck at it.
fucking you keep
I
that.
just can't get them. I just can't get them to
The
work for me
Volta
personally.
is very like okay, I just like LARPing. I put my cowboy hat on when I have a Volta day. I literally will grab my cowboy hat on and just run the Volta. I have had one of the biggest kill streaks I ever had. I was alive with one Volta for almost 2 hours straight, and I was on fucking I was on Mercy's Whale Bridge. Fucking I was there on top of that train bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, I was slam dunking dudes. It is a
But how do
great
you?
rifle,
But how do you use the Volta? Is it just a medium range? Is it short range? I
dude.
legitimately don't know.
You
Like I
literally have to
every
find a
single time I
spot
try.
in
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
You have to find a spot in camp, and you literally it's a rifle where you set it in place and you wait for someone to cross you, and boom, and it
Okay.
staggers them so hard they will be standing still by the time that second round's in. It's an easy kill, or it'll insta drop them. And then you sit there like a sniper when the medic comes up to heal him, boom, and then you create a
Get
body
into.
pile. You
Yeah.
make a pile, and then people want to come up for loot, boom, and you just
So
consistently get one shots, and it's weird. It's weird. And then when you need it to, when you're running up in a trench and you finally get that, where you're talking about the pitch gun and you fucking, and you're getting lit up. You get that one swag scope one tap, you'll feel like a god and think it's the best gun in the game. And then you'll get dunked on 15 times with it and you'll think it's trash, and then you'll have another
yeah.
fucking
True.
ongoing, you'll have another spree with it and you're like, I'm the best shot in this fucking game. I'm literally Shooter McGavin. Get fucked. And you just
I
you
need.
hate it or love it. You can't fuck. There's no in between. It's not a good rifle.
Yeah.
It's you hate it or you love it, and I'm a love it guy.
Because I will say this much. I whenever I find a hangman, oh man, the hangman is so good. I'm very jealous. I must say,
I hate the
if
hangman. I
if
hate it.
there's ever a temptation for me to stay and playing Warden, it's like Hangman, Outlaw, Brigand, like those 3 weapons, and Blake Grove, because just
Can we have a
so
talk real
good
quick?
weapons.
Can we have a talk
Yeah,
real
what's up?
quick? I
Yeah.
am so tired of hearing the fucking brigand sucks. I
Oh yeah.
shit on so
Down,
many
down. Breathe,
infantry.
breathe, breathe. Relax.
I
Yes.
shit
Okay.
on so many infantry. Medine stole me one, and it was in War 126, dude. I went through 700 rounds of 30 mil by myself in the gun on that brigand. We didn't even die in it. We ended up next day dying, saving a super heavy, but it was a worthwhile. And a BT died for it, so whatever. Point being, that fucking tank is not the best tank. That's their Scorpion, dude. I swear to God, it is. That thing, if
Brigand.
you get a good the
Hmm.
Brigand, yeah, that's their Scorpion,
Okay.
dude. I swear. It's weird, and I know but dude, it's the best infantry support tank they have. I swear to all that's holy,
Okay.
you can mop up a whole trench line with that 30 mil. You can kill trenches super easy. And the 7.92 has 40 meters of range. That thing beams. Now it does suck when snipers get teched or you get flanked. But it's a good little shitter tank. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's gonna win against a lot of I don't think it's gonna win a lot of tank duels. I don't. I don't think it can. It has a really high disable chance because it has the 3 shots. It can get a
Yeah.
disable shot and then win. It's
Yeah.
not that's not its design. I really do feel like the devs wanted that to be their Scorpion because their scout tank, although is it good when they changed the bloom on scout tanks and stuff like that, and it became more of a suppression tank. I think that's what they wanted their infantry support tank to be. I think that's their IST. And then when they upgraded, it's obviously their sniper. But I really, and this is just me being a tanker. I genuinely love that tank. Like when I get my hands on it, I have a lot of fun.
So So I just want to point out that when we did Warden Vacation War, in 1 to 3, oh sorry, 1 to 4, that was our favorite tank. Like that was like a group concession. I I'll tell you what, Bear, you like the tank because it feels like it's meant to be a colonial tank. It follows the colonial doctrine of you play support with it, and then when it's ready to go, you go, and then you have that triple shot to make
That's
plays with it.
exactly what it is.
And that's so legitimately when we first got our hands on brigands and we joined a like a random warden push. I think it was KRGG or someone was pushing into Saltbrook. We literally took 3 brigands. We rolled behind the colonial tank line. It was an 11E tank line, so veteran tank line players. We rolled in behind them and we tapped and smacked every single Spatha and Falchion that we found. That was the current tech level. And then later on, when they take Nemesis, we did it again. And it felt really good because us as collie yeeters, we rolled the tank line behind theirs, we blocked their tanks, and then we just started tapping them with that triple repeater, that repeater cannon. And then as soon as target down, we used speed boost to drive through our own tank line to safety. And then like the wardens were like, "Holy fucking shit, you guys like wiped the tank line!" I'm like, hell yeah, because we managed to roll in. No, that tank is super fun. I don't agree that it's the IST. I do feel like the Highwayman plays a better role for suppressing and killing infantry because it actually has a 12.7 and a 20 mil. We stole a when I say we a single HVL guy stole a tier 3 Highwayman in 1 to 6, and we held onto it for the entire war. And whenever we did Logi ops, we would bring it as our point defense, and it clapped all the partisans. So I do feel like the Highwayman is sadly only resolved to as a infantry support tank now. But the Brigand is great. No, the Brigand is awesome, and I will say this much: you are guilt free when you use the Brigand to like clap infantry at
Oh,
pullboxes
dude,
and stuff
it's
like that.
not the
Because
40
30 mil
mil
so
guilt.
30,
Yeah,
yeah, 30 mil
dude.
so cheap. Yeah, it's guilt
Yes.
free.
Oh, and it's just it's that sweet feeling of, they're sitting in the trench and there's that little ATR pissing you off, and you just, he just sitting there, bing, and he's winding your armor away, and you don't care. You're in a cheap little shitter, and you just
Yeah.
break the trench and you see 5 bodies fly out. You're like, that 1030 mil was so worth it. And you just, I don't know, dude. It brings me so much joy. Highwayman,
So
best armored car.
so so I will say this much, and let's dial this back a little bit and talk about game design again because that's interesting. I will say this much: you were talking about you want more weapons, you want more toys, and you want more gaps filled.
Yeah.
I would really like if the devs could take a moment to make interesting options more available for collies. Because if you think about it, yes, the brigand was introduced as a way to nerf the outlaw. Let's not cut corners here. The
Oh,
outlaw was too overpowered.
100%.
The outlaw
Well,
being
that's when
deployed
they gave it the
from a
buff.
train. Yeah,
That's when they
yeah.
gave it the buff. They
They
had to
gave it the
dial it
buff
back.
because yes,
Yeah, they had
correct.
to
No, I
dial it
understand.
back. Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
understand
agreeing
that,
with you. I'm
but
agreeing with you.
let's look at like the Warden MPF tank line now, like tank loadout now. Like all of them have like a super unique identity, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is base brigands actually serve a role within a Warden tank line now. Now you have this like funny like cheap anti-infantry support tank flanker, you know, random do a whole bunch of stuff, and that's great. That's I feel like that's really good game design because now when it's like mid tech and you're not completely late game tech, you as a warden can make the active decision of like, hey, I want to do some tanking today. If I want to fight enemy tanks and sit in a line, I can bring, for example, a light tank because it has a 40 mil shot. And if I want to be like a supporting tank, if I want to do some flanking, or if I want to do like logi cuts, then I could bring a brigand, because repeater 30 mil, cheaper ammo, and you can also look at the front and say, well, there's this one relic base that has 600 shells of 30 mil in it. I now have the active decision to bring a brigand as opposed to bringing a light tank. Therefore, these tanks complement each other, and it complements the tank line and the playstyle. I don't see that level of cohesion yet with the Kali tank line, because I'm going to be real, who the fuck brings a falchion to a tank line when you can upgrade it to a Spatha? Like, a lot of collies even consider to this day that if you bring a falchion to a tank line, you're trolling. Because
Well,
why wouldn't you just make it a straight up better falchion, which is the Spatha?
here's my thing too, and this is something else that really bothers me about the falchion. And a lot of people say the cool thing about it is cheap, and yes, I understand that. Trust me, I understand that more than anyone. But here's the weirdest thing I think I've seen, and one thing I am happy the Nemesis did bring. When you go, when we tech our light tanks, right? And I'm agreeing with you, but I'm even giving it a little bit more context. When we tech our
Yeah.
light tanks, it's a 40 mil, 40 meter range, X amount of health, X amount of armor. When you
Yep.
get the next tech at Falchion, same range, different armor. It's the exact same as our light tank. It has more health and more armor. But you get no difference in doctrine of how you play them. I mean,
Exactly.
it's the
Yes.
exact same doctrine. And then the Spatha, exact same doctrine. Nemesis changes quite a bit. Bardiche changes a lot. Yeah,
Bardiche changes a lot. Bardiche is the first tank that is completely different to how you play every other tank on the Kali side. Whereas I feel like the
Nemesis
Warden tanks,
is very different too, but Nemesis usually
but
comes last now. Well, okay, the way we play Nemesis.
I'm gonna push back here, because the Nemesis plays exactly the same as the LTD.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
You poke in and out, and then you have the option to yeet in and Tremolos.
Okay,
you
Bones
get the yeet in and
different.
Druid Tremolos.
Bones different. Like we
Okay.
play Nemesis complete. Like our complete doctrine with the Nemesis is we wait. Like we do not play it in a line. Like I make it very clear, we do not play the Nemesis in the line. You don't get the most DPS out of your 68. Your DPS comes from your Tremolas. I will specifically wait on a flank or get a track, and I will immediately dive that injured tank. I will put 4 Tremolas on that tank, and I will bully the shit out of one. And I'll take a 1 tank for 1 tank trade as long as it's not a brigand. If it's any other tank, you're winning. And
But
I mean,
but this dials back to my point. Okay, so maybe it's not the LTD, but you just
Bardiche. Oh, I play it exactly like a Bardiche. Exactly. 100%.
But this is the thing. This is the we're going back to identity crisis, man. We discussed this like 2 podcasts ago. But I feel like the gap for Kali,
it's true.
But the gap for Kali side now is we are lacking some more just tank diversity or tank interest. Like,
and the Scorpion really doesn't throw in a great helping wrench in that. It's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, I think a Scorpion in some situations is the best tank for that situation. It has a place in the game. I definitely wish to see, and this is just something that I think would be cool for survivability, but this is also something that I could see being well overpowered. I don't know. Something I really wish the Scorpion could change into is to tripod mounts. I really do feel like the Scorpion would be revolution. That tank you would see on front lines all the time. I genuinely feel if you had 2 Dawkus in that thing, that could be a monster. I genuinely feel that could be a monster. If you had 2 Lamentums in it, it's the same thing as a Scorpion now. You know, it'd actually be kind of an improvement, to be honest. On the now you'd lose the high velocity on it, but you would get more accuracy out of it. But then imagine 2 45 meter range Typhons. Imagine 2 Typhoons.
The Typhons are actually scary on it, because you'll shred all the armor.
And you make their bloom insane. You make their bloom insane. The super heavy could miss its 94.5. You know, bing, 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 and
And
its
dude, if you
bloom
imagine,
never blooms never shrink. You could
dude,
miss
and
every shot.
imagine if you imagine. No, the scary part is imagine if you get like a foe breaker, you can have Quadish at home, and you could
Imagine
also
if you get not even a foe breaker. Imagine if you get the arc,
uh,
the arc
yeah, no,
RPG. Oh my
bone
god,
launcher,
that
yeah,
we have a bone law at home. Yes,
yeah.
we have the heavy bone law. Yes, that'd be so
uh,
cool. That'd be
I
so cool.
it would be
Oh,
cool, but I mean this would be this would. But I mean, would this be the base Scorpion, or would this be the Scorpion variant?
I do think it would add a really cool dynamic if you did make it a variant, because I think base Scorpion should. I think that's something you should purchase. I don't think that's something that should be out of the gate.
Okay.
I could see that being very strong, but I don't think it should be like steel or anything. I think it should be like ones, twos, threes, and fours, and then pecans, and I think vetting it should be very expensive as well, ones, twos, threes, or fours, XY. I don't know what they would make
Yeah.
them, like ones or fours or whatever. There's certain, like, I know the um what is it called, like the LTDs they're always twos and threes, and I know Scorpions are ones and fours. I don't know what it takes to make a Scorpion into a ballista. I don't know
That's
what.
it's pecans and it's not a lot. I think it's pecans and A Force. It's really cheap.
So
That's like five.
it'd be ones and fours to make that upgrade. But I genuinely feel like if you did that with a Scorpion chassis, and maybe honestly, I could also see them like lowering maybe a little bit of armor or something too with it, give it a little bit of a downgrade with it, for like survivability, because you are getting it like literal armament, which could be devastating. I think. I mean,
Mhm.
two bone law or two arc RPGs on that thing. I mean, you could. I'm trying to think of the damage output. I think you could three shot a light tank if everyone penned.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing for me. I kind of like the idea and concept. I just don't think it works with the Scorpion because the Scorpion comes out too late. Um, I feel like tripod weapons kind of lose their oomph after like medium tanks start attacking, and Scorpion usually comes out just before Bardiche or around the same time because of the balance of the ballista. I'm gonna say something wild here. I really think I would really like that some of the Kali base vehicles get a little bit more identity like the Brigade. I am incredibly jealous about the fact that the Brigade is so cool. And it would be kind of nice if the devs could consider reworking some of our base vehicles to the same, so that for me as a player, I can make the active decision of bringing a Falchion over a Spatha, or I could make the active decision of bringing a light tank
I
over a
think the
Falchion
only one that's the
because
problem is the
there's
Falchion.
advantage of it.
I mean,
Sorry?
honestly, I slightly disagree. I think the only one
Yeah,
that's
it's
really
fine.
the worst. I think the worst one of every. I think the biggest problem is our base, our bread and butter tank. I think the Falchion. I think that's the number one issue. I think the Nemesis sits in a great spot. Borderline, it got nerfs because it was so OP. I borderline think that tank is perfect for what it is. I think the Bardiche is a dive tank. And I think that, like I said, if you gave the Quadiche your favorite tank, if you gave it the opportunity to shoot arcs, or not
Oh
arcs,
god,
not
yeah.
not arcs, not
The
arcs, AP, if
APs,
it could
yeah.
shoot APs,
That'd
like
be great. No, it'd
it'd
be
be the
good.
best,
It'd be awesome.
And
Yeah.
I think if they just did stuff like what we're talking about right now, where you give the quad the ability to shoot arcs, a lot of people won't like that I say this, and I think it's the most simple fix in the game. If you want to make a difference between the light tank and the Falchion, give the
Change the
light
light tank.
tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say give the light tank something different. A lot of people were gonna expect me to say put a machine gun on it. I think
No,
if the
no.
Falchion had a machine gun, it'd be too OP. I think you change the light tank to be something else. I genuinely feel like we should have, because let's be honest, The hatchet and the divot, they're the same thing. They're a little different,
yeah,
but they're the same
a little
thing.
bit different. Yeah, yeah.
But they're identical almost. Like they play the exact same. They're same caliber, same everything. If you want
Yeah,
to
but
change the game, don't change. Um, I don't think change the falchion. I think change the light tank. That's my opinion. I think because
it's hard to balance though, because I will say that the light tank is the first entry point to okay, tanks are actually scary now.
I agree.
So
I mean, but then if you change the
I
falchion,
I
how do
want
you
to
change
okay
the falchion? Now you're
okay so
thinking like a dev.
no
Now,
no so here's the thing. I have always jokingly said that I always wanted the Ares to be buffed to the fact that you could put direct fire like HE rocket pods on it, kind of like a Babbitt tank from Command and Conquer. I kind of feel like either the falchion or the hatchet, one of the two, you could pick. I don't care which one. I kind of feel like they should add like a grenade, not necessarily a tremolo grenade launcher, but like an anti-tank grenade launcher that you can like lob grenades in, and then you fire it, and they shoot out over a like an area, and you could like lob
so a
smokes.
nemesis.
You,
So a
no,
nemesis.
no, 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 no. A nemesis is very no, no, no. A nemesis is
I'm
targeted
messing with
because
you. I'm just fucking.
no, no, no. But I want to clarify. You said a point. I'm going to clarify it, right? The nemesis is a very targeted weapon because you have a person sitting inside the hull of the vehicle and shooting the grenades out.
Okay.
I'm talking about like you fire like three like a bird like a spray of grenades off of those like those like grenade tubes or something. Now you can either give this to the falchion or you can give it to the
Light
hatchet.
tank. Yeah.
Yeah, the light tank, right? And then you get the option of like putting in different types of ammunition that you facility lock it or whatever. You make Logi's life hell to make it, but you add some variety in making the active decision of bringing a hatchet to a front. Because I will say, out of all the tanks that you see in the Kali tank line late game, you ain't never gonna see a base hatchet. You're either gonna see an LTD or you're gonna see a Kreneshka or you're going to see a Vulcan because they all serve a different role. And I really feel like the base Kali vehicle lineup is kind of bland. You're also not going to see a base Falchion. You're most likely going to see a Spath or you're going to see a Talos. And it would just be kind of interesting if they could tweak that a little bit. Because again, I want to applaud that Siege Camp did a really good job with the Outlaw nerf by introducing the Brigand and adding in this like super unique identity for it. And yeah, it would just be kind of nice if they could round that off a little bit and add more tools for us.
All right, hear me out. So, what if okay. So I'm an American. I've been playing Gates of Hell a lot. You saw me playing it earlier, and you know that I know a lot about Shermans in World War II.
Yep.
I correlate the Falchion to Sherman it up. Now, obviously, we can't 50 cal it up, but one of the coolest things that ever came out of, in my opinion, one of the coolest things that ever came out of a Falchion, or aka Sherman, was if there was a problem, there was a Sherman for it. Not the other way around. You have trenches, you give it a fucking bulldozer. You have mines in front of you, you put a minesweeper in front of it. You have a fucking concrete bunker in front of you. Okay, we're gonna slap a 105 fucking cannon on it. You have armor in front of you. All right, we slap a 76 on it. When you go from the light tank up to the Falchion, I think a really cool iteration they could do, and I don't know how the damage model would work, and I don't know how this would employ, but one really cool idea that I think I would really like on the Falchions to make it identity cool, give it a tow hitch on the front of the tank to either get a bulldozer, or a fucking minesweeper.
Interesting.
So
that's cool. That's cool. I like it.
Give it a minesweeper up at the front so it can be the sweep. It can be the universal tank we want it to be. Put a tow hitch on that motherfucker. Put a put something on the front. Put it to where you can have 10 dudes sitting on the side. Troop
I was gonna
transport.
say, put seating on the side, or
There's
make it, or
so
give it like a shield or
many
something. Yeah,
things
yeah.
they can do with the front of a Falchion to make it a Sherman. They can put that dozer on it to where if you push that thing up, you can't get hurt by mines if you're going forward. You know what I mean? Like that, it clears mines. Or for the sorry, I said that minesweeper in front for the dozer. Like
Yeah.
you know what they do with the harvester? You literally
The
slap
flail,
one of
yeah.
those on the front of a
And
fucking
a chain
Falchion.
flail, a chain flail. Yeah, you put a chain flail. Mm.
That would be so fucking cool. Give
I
the
think it would be cool.
Falchion the love it deserves because it's
No.
a shitter tank, but that's the beauty of it. You can have 5 million shitter tanks. Let's get some utility on that.
Here's another angle that I just drawing inspiration from what you said. Here's another angle that could be super duper interesting. So we've had a long running suspicion in HVL that the MPF at some point is going to get removed from the game.
Okay.
Because we think that facility is going in that line. We've seen a lot of stuff being moved from the MPF into facility gameplay now. So
For sure.
maybe at some point we're going to see a point where you can't just bulk order. You can't just bulk order tanks at a single building in the game. You have to like produce it in a facility somehow. Cool, whatever. What would be super interesting is if the devs were to rework how tanks, specifically tanks, can get refurbished in the field. So we could have things like field mechanics be added to the game.
Oh,
So
I've
what
said
I'm
this too.
what,
I love
what
your idea.
What I mean by this,
Oh.
but however, this comes with some downsides. For example, if you get tracked, you ain't gonna repair that with B-mats and a hammer anymore. You have to pull back out of the tank line, and you would need a dude in a heavy truck roll fresh tracks to you and then like hot swap it out. Like swap off the tracks, put on new tracks, wrench it in, put on grease or something, and then cool, off you go. And what would be really interesting is if the Falchion had the easiest repair cost in that sort of new system that they would to introduce. Because then you literally have your Sherman, and even though the devs might have some complications by adding in like unique sort of add-ons to the thing, where the different barrel, the different thing, etc., 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 but you could make it so that the Falchion's unique, specifically the Falchion, not the Spatha, not the Talos, not the light tanks, or whatever. Specifically, the Falchion's unique in the fact that you could potentially have one dude be able to swap the tracks out because it's such a simple design, it's such an MPF-able design. And the devs could tweak game balance based on how easy it is to field repair tanks, as opposed to just rolling into a garage and clicking a button
and that's the thing. I fucking dude. So you're talking about this game is full of logistics, right? The super heavy.
You could say that.
The super heavy should be way harder to field than it is. I cannot fucking express to you how hard it was to fucking take care of a tiger tank.
Yeah.
Those things broke down more than they were fucking used, bro, because they couldn't fucking logistically take care of it. That's why the Sherman was so... I gotta calm down.
Yeah.
That's why the Sherman is so... It's just American made, baby. Like I just,
but this is what we're saying. This could be an interest. If the dev man is watching, because you said the dev man's watching your stream. Hell yeah, listen, hi dev man.
I really hope they
are. Add in the ability for make tank gameplay a little bit more complicated. Don't make it completely impossible. Like make it so that you could even tear this out. Like, let's say the advantage of using a light tank now, maybe that is the tank that you can still hammer B-mats with. Maybe that's the last tank in the tank line before you have to start rolling out a different way to repair your vehicles. Then the Falchion's like the easiest one to do because historically MPF tank, replaceable parts made from plastic, etc., etc., etc. That's the tank that you can easily hot swap new treads in. If you get turreted, you can replace the barrel very easily. Doesn't take a lot of time. Takes one dude with a wrench to do it. Cool, happy days. But, as Bear says, the idea here is like, the more complex and advanced systems get, the more support you need for them on the front. So that we could literally... Battlefield mechanics could be a thing in the game. And that could be fucking awesome. Like, dude in a heavy truck with a trailer behind him, and he's just bringing in fresh tracks, fresh gun barrels, fresh sights, fresh
Well, and here's
optics,
the
or whatever
thing.
that they put on the tanks.
Here's
And
the
then
thing
just
too. Here's
and then we
here's
can
the amazing
yeah,
part.
yeah,
You could also have like like a tank destroyer, right? The tank destroyer is mainly
yeah,
filled with a big ass cannon in there. There's not a lot of room for shit in the tank. Scorpion has a fuckload of room
yeah,
inside of it. Oh,
exactly.
now you have a field modification tank on the front
Yep.
whipping out tracks. Oh,
Yes.
now you have vehicles that actually make sense to move shit armored up to the front line where it's hot and heavy. Dual machine guns suppressing so you can fit your new fucking tracks on. Oh, now you have a new use for your. What's this? What's that? Mozzarella? I got mozzarella sticks. Sorry, my girlfriend. Sorry.
No, fair enough.
When you have a
Scorpion?
girlfriend that loves you. Sorry. But you would actually have something that makes sense to think those changes would kill the game more than save it. I don't know. I think I think he's on the far end of the spectrum of how far field modification could go, and I think that's one day where it could go to. What I'm more going in line with was trying to get Colley's identity and giving the falchion a modification on the front of it that you'd have to buy or not buy. You'd have to make at a facility, and those could break down and could fuck you just as much as they help you. But it would also give the falchion a lot of love. I think giving the Scorpion 2 tripod weapons would give it a lot of love. But I think what he's wanting is some way to make all of those changes not necessarily a part of the game, but something you have to do at the facility. And I think something that he really wants is when you get shot in the track, I don't think that you should just have a universal fucking item click, 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 and then you're fine. I think getting tracked should be a lot more devastating because that's tanks getting tracked. A movement kill is
Big deal.
a massive issue in game, or not in games, in real life, which this is not. This is a video game, but in real life, a mobility kill is just as bad as getting like your engine or suspension just dying out on you. Like it can fucking kill you, and all the guys and stuff. Like it's horrible if you lose mobility. And I think getting tracked is just, oh, get 5 B mats on that son bitch, we're good to go. Like there's
The best part is
mix.
is if this system were to be rolled out, we can also apply it to naval. And this would solve a universal hatred, I think, of everyone. Because how would you feel if a barge could fix a large hole by swapping out the plating in the field? You don't. If naval enjoyers, if you get hit by a torpedo, how would you feel? Like you could literally patch the large hole by literally having a material of some kind that you just slap onto the side, you hammer it in, and then you're good to go and you move away, and then the large hole's like kind of sealed up. You still take the hull damage, you still take the integrity damage, but you don't have to immediately retreat your ship back. So I think it's cool, and I think they could apply this. I think they can apply this mechanism to vehicles, like all vehicles. I don't know how it would work with air because again, we have no idea how air works. So whatever. But I really do feel like the day and age of just fixing tanks completely by swinging BMATs should be over. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want the significance of garages to be dropped a little bit as well. I feel like garages should be a place where people make their sort of entry level tank and they make their trucks. I really feel like tank production should happen in facilities. Like it should be facility based. I do acknowledge that there still needs to be a way for the casual player to have a tank available to them, and maybe that could still be the last sort of exit point for garage gameplay. But if you want to field a super heavy tank, you need to accept the risks at having it. You need to run infantry. You can't just deploy like 5 super heavy tanks and be fine because you can just hammer them with BMATs. You should run one super heavy tank, 3 support tanks, 5 infantry, or 10 infantry, 15 infantry, whatever. Actually have some strategic layer to it, and not just, oh, if you lose it, if you get damaged, you can just retreat and everything's fine because we have a garage like 100 meters away. Because it also makes defending way more easier. And as we've established in the last couple of wars, defenders have it very good. They're eating very healthily. So maybe that would also be an impromptu way to make defenders have less of a chance of just holding out indefinitely.
I think
But yeah,
there's a balance in what you're saying
of
and what
course,
a
yeah.
normal player
Mhm.
like a facility man thinks facility, frontliner thinks I have to drive 4 hexes back to repair my tank. Fuck your idea. There's a balance in between both of those. Get
But
better
my wait a
facility men.
second. Hold up. My suggestions is like, no, you can bring a heavy truck with all the stuff that you
Well,
need
no,
to
no,
repair
no.
your tanks in the front. That's what I said.
Well, I was just more meaning like to repair the tank fully or whatever. Like you're talking about
You do it on
individual
the
parts.
but you bring the individual parts, but using like a flatbed full of stuff
Yeah, but if that's the case, you'd have to have a hull. You'd have to have hull parts. And how are you gonna repair hull parts?
with a wrench. The same way as like when a Sherman took engine damage, what would happen in World War II? Right? Would they ship the Sherman all the way back to America to get it fixed? No, they would just bring in a new engine and swap out the engine. I assume.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about like, let's say you take a fucking pen to the front. Let's say you take a pen right to the front armor. You just gonna slap a new fucking plate on it? Like, here's a new plate.
Yeah, and then in the game model, you literally have where
Oh,
you took that penetration, you have a metal plate over it with bolts sticking on it, and that's all done with Logi, as opposed to just
that'd be kind of
hammer
cool,
beam
actually.
and the magical black dirt on your tank gets less and less and less.
Yeah.
Or you drive into the garage 5 meters, you click a button, and then your tank magically blah 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 and turns back into a
Dude,
fully
you
shiny
don't
new
fucking
tank.
understand. Tanks don't actually get hurt. It's just all paint, dude. The paint's what takes the damage.
Okay, well then let's ship up some cans
Some
of
paint. Some
cans of
fucking
paint to
spray
paint and
paint!
paintbrushes.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
mean, no, that could be cool getting realistic damage models. I think
I have one question for you though. I have
what's
one
up?
question for you before we kind of wrap things up because I have to go soon because it's getting quite late.
Yeah, no
But I
worries.
have one question for you, and here's a final thing to think about, right? And this is the big debate. Do you think we're gonna get plane vetting and naval vetting at any point? Because the big hot topic that always happens in FOD is more ways to spend resources. Because right now, most Logi players have too much oil and too much coal and too much coke, and we're being choked by the fact that things cost rare mats. Like RSCs will cost rare mats,
Yeah, dude,
ships cost rare
100%.
mats.
Planes will get vetch.
So
Planes will
so
definitely get
so
vetch.
both
What my question is, it might not happen off the bat,
yeah
because it'll be programming stuff, like getting all the textures and stuff ready to go for it. But 100%, I could see planes because the difference between planes and a boat is a you can package a plane, and we know that already because it was on the back of a train.
yeah
You can
true
package a train. You can't. Well, you can package a train too, but you can package a plane. We know that for a fact. At least fighters. We saw the word in fighter was packaged.
yeah
It was notorious in wartime for aces and shit to decorate the planes. I would imagine if that's not they don't go off of real life, but I imagine if they want to go with the LARP that they want us to enjoy that they always do, yeah, I think planes will get vetted. I think it'll take time for that to get programmed in, but I think the fact
hmm
that they can be packaged and moved by cranes, I think that's a good implement or a good guess to say that they would be. I don't think I don't think unless they add a new modification or a new like dry dock or maybe make dry docks work different as a field modification and a dry dock, you're not going to get that because they don't have a building for that in the water. But I think dry docks, if they did get some changes via like if you let's say they changed the dry dock and it cost 15 steel, or this is just spitballing, don't take my words for exact, but let's say you could upgrade your dry dock with 15 steel and now it's a public vetting station for boats, and then they could do that then, but they just don't have it in the water yet. I
yeah
think that they have the chance to do it for air and it would make sense. They just don't have that installed yet for the water because there's nothing on the water nothing can be packaged on the water like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think
Yeah,
it's
I
in
get you.
place. I think it's definitely possible. I think it's more than likely, if especially if we start talking about it and like kind of say that we want it. I think it's more than possible for those things to get vetted. I think it's
So
likely.
so here's so I have primed you for the real question. So I now have the idea stuck in your head, and you agree that they'll probably add it.
Okay.
So here's the real question. I was hyping you up for it. So recently, I think at War 127 start or 128, one of the two wars, the devs added a new thing to all vehicles, which was the vehicle log. Now, this is a significant change to the underlying code of vehicles. And the reason why is we now
Yes.
have a unique identifier with every vehicle that's in the game. That means that
I
every
already know what
vehicle in
you're
the
going
game
with it.
is now unique.
Mm-hmm.
So
I already
now we
know.
have a way now we have a way to track stats of individual vehicles on top of individual players.
Victory marks are getting added.
So now every
Victory marks
single
will get added.
time so now every single time you kill an enemy tank, or if you're in a plane and you kill an enemy fighter, or you basically start accumulating kills for that vehicle. I honestly think you should get a discount for vetting vehicles when you take it to the field modification station.
So
Have something that makes you want to bring back your victory, your show off your W's, and then you have like either unique skins or you have like cooler vetting vehicle. And all the devs need to do is then just need to figure out systems to prevent cheese.
are you ready?
You
ready for this?
yeah,
Now we're
yeah,
going back
hit
to
me.
an old conversation. This is something for people like you. So now that we have vehicle identification on each vehicle,
Yep.
every falchion that gets produced and made into a spatha, what if they made it on vehicle pads? You could put a text in or a regiment in, and every tank produced out of said vehicle pad got a stamp on it, shipped
That
out,
would be really cool.
produced by, or it would just have the big name, HVL printed right on the ass. And that's
Really
an
cool.
HVL tank. Oh, dude! Fucking 10 HVL tanks just like that! You could see the stamps on it, or the vice versa, that when you're scouting in binos and you see, oh, fuck, that's KRGG. That's 10 of their fucking
82D
tanks right there.
82D tanks, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's 82 DK's tanks right there. Fuck. Like, then you
Oh
start.
no. Fair, it's gonna be worse. I'll tell you why it's worse. Is if you ever get your tank captured, you will never live it down.
Now shit posting on Reddit. I got your super heavy bitch, and then you
Dude,
just shit
yeah.
post them all day long, and it would never be like that wasn't ours. It's on the fucking. It's stamped on there.
Dude, or it could be. Could you imagine the trophy museums? Because everyone does trophy museums, right? Like,
bro.
could you imagine
Come
that somewhere in the Warden backline, there's just like a fleet of spathers sitting in some dude's LARP facility, and it's just
Come
like
on, bro.
this dude, this motherfucker is playing fucking Pokemon Go
Imagine
in fucking
stealing.
in Ziva.
Imagine
He's collecting all
stealing
the fucking.
your double vetted highwayman, and then that plan comes to partisan you, and you shit on him with it. The amount of hate in your fucking body would just be, oh man, it'd be so cool, bro. It's there, the cusp. See, and this, what's crazy about what we talked about?
Yep.
This whole conversation, guess what it's all been about? It's not about nerfing or buffing.
Balance. Yeah, we didn't talk any balance. Yeah, we just.
All we've talked about through this whole ordeal is, it's not even about. It's about creativity. We want the game to be more creative and more. We want people to invest more. We want that buy-in. We want that LARP. We want that idea. Like, I saw it tick in your head when I said, when you were talking about your grenades, and I was like, well, what about the Sherman slapping a chain rack on the front of a falchion, and that's falchion's thing. This is only 2 people. Imagine if we had the whole community. Now, obviously, there'd be some bad ideas in there, but imagine if there was a suggestion box. Imagine if the devs took the time to watch this video? And what if it got added? Like,
Yeah, it'd be cool.
it would be like getting the community to do it and buy in and just getting that. It's a community driven game, man. And if they fucking sold it, dude, if they bought in and just sold it and let us just grab the reins and, not exactly make it our game, but, make it our game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, the potential's there, dude. We can see it. We can imagine. I can imagine having a tank. And you know what else? Another cool thing that I thought of too when you said that. Imagine a tank that got smoke grenades on it. Like you know how in World War II, a lot of tanks, like say you're tracked. I don't know how much this application would help or hurt, but imagine if you were tracked or something or engined, and you put a smoke screen in front of you. I don't know.
I mean, they recently buffed smoke grenades, so yeah, could totally see it.
I think it might actually help because sometimes it is hard to remember where you're supposed to be shooting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're shooting at stuff, and I think if a smoke screen was there, you might not hit the target you want. So I don't know. Some cool ideas. Again, thank you so much for this impromptu podcast. I wanted to start it back up. I haven't been playing Foxhole, but I definitely it's still near and dear to my heart, and I want to keep watching those clips. And I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with me. I'm gonna stay on stream here after this. Be playing some games. But are you going? You hopping offline after this? Or are you gonna go do some
Yeah,
Foxhole?
it's 2 a.m. and I've had a
Okay.
long. No, it's 2 a.m. I've had a long work week, so I think I might go set a Falchion queue because we just tagged it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna set a Falchion queue and then I'm gonna head off.
Yeah, well, anyway, then, if you weren't heading off, I was going to tell them to go watch it. But I just want to thank you guys again. Thank you for coming to the Boneyard podcast. Legendary, thank you for being on here. Awesome guest as always. Everyone, I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, and I might see you again next week. We'll see. We'll see who I can get in here.
Sounds good. All right. Cheers, my dudes. Good
See you
luck
guys.
in the battle. And yeah, see you time.
See you dudes. All right.